right, so you've got an investment decision coming up, right?
Mhm.
Super Microcomputer, Inc., SMCI, if you're following along at home, and their next financial report. Well, let's just say you want more information before making that decision,
Definitely smart to do your homework.
for sure. So SMCI, they design and make server hardware. We're talking the powerful computers behind, well, a lot of things, actually. High-performance computing, artificial intelligence, those huge cloud data centers we all rely on. They're known for building custom servers, really tailoring to a client's needs, and for being early adopters, especially when it comes to new technologies.
You got it. But keep in mind, it's a pretty competitive market out there. You've got major players like Dell, HPE, Lenovo, all competing for those same clients. And like a lot of hardware manufacturers, SMCI can be impacted by, those global supply chain issues we keep hearing about.
Yeah, for sure. A lot to keep in mind. That's where all our research comes in, though, right? We're going to break down 5 key things to watch for in this upcoming report. Things that can have a big impact on your decision and, ultimately, SMCI's stock price. Ready to get into it?
Absolutely. Let's dive in.
Okay, first things first. We got to talk about the elephant in the room. SMCI's delayed financial reports. They've been under scrutiny for this and are facing a deadline, February 25th. That's the drop-dead date to avoid potentially being delisted from the NASDAQ.
Yeah, investors are definitely watching this closely. They want to see that SMCI is taking this deadline seriously. They need a plan to get back on track. So what we'll be listening for in the report is an update. Where do they stand with these filings, and do they think they'll meet the deadline?
Transparency is key. Now let's switch gears, talk about something a little more, well, exciting. SMCI's AI data center solutions platform. It's ramping up to full production and is getting a boost from the NVIDIA Blackwell platform.
Yeah, and that's a big deal. The NVIDIA Blackwell platform, it's designed specifically for AI, right, and for those high-performance computing workloads. So this partnership, it signals that SMCI is serious. They want to be a major player in the AI market, which is, a hot market right now.
So when it comes to this platform, what should we be listening for in the report?
Well, specifics on the demand they're seeing, how this platform is affecting their revenue, any news about customer adoption or new partnerships, all of those are good indicators of whether this platform is living up to its potential.
Sounds promising. But one of our sources brought up a company called DeepSeek, and they've developed, well, this AI model. It's called R1, and it's designed to be less reliant on those super high-end processors that, SMCI is known for. So what does this mean for SMCI? Is DeepSeek a threat? An opportunity?
That's the question, isn't it? DeepSeek, it highlights a trend in the AI industry. There's this push for more efficient AI models that rely more on, software optimization and less on raw processing power.
So it sounds like this could impact the demand for SMCIs, like high-end hardware.
It could. Definitely has that potential. That's why we'll be listening to what SMCI has to say about this. Do they acknowledge the trend? Do they have a strategy to adapt? Their response will be very telling.
Okay, so we've got the delayed filings and this potential shift in the AI landscape. But we can't forget the fundamentals. Financial performance. Delayed filings or not, investors are going to be looking closely at the numbers.
Of course. Revenue, earnings per share, their guidance for future quarters, all of that will be under the microscope. We need to understand how they measure up against expectations and whether there are other factors besides the filing issue affecting their financial health.
Exactly. Those are the basics. And speaking of things that could affect their financial health, we've got to talk about SMCI's accounting practices. They've had some questions raised in the past. An independent committee didn't find major problems, but investors might still be a little wary.
Transparency and accountability are crucial here. Any updates, any reassurances they can provide about their accounting practices, their internal controls, will go a long way in restoring investor confidence.
So what should we be watching for in the report when it comes to their accounting practices?
Listen for any changes they've made to their internal controls, any updates on past audits, and listen to what they say about their commitment to financial transparency.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. Delayed filings, its exciting new AI platform, the potential challenges from DeepSeek, their overall financial performance, and their accounting practices. Anything else investors should have on their radar?
One more thing. We need to understand SMCI's overall outlook. Beyond just the numbers, what trends are they seeing in the industry? What about the competition? And most importantly, what are their priorities moving forward?
So it's about understanding their vision, right? Their roadmap for navigating this market.
Yeah.
What should investors be listening for to gauge that outlook?
We'll be listening to their take on the overall health of the server market, their thoughts on emerging trends, things like edge computing and software-defined infrastructure, and their plans for investing in research and development. How are they going to stay ahead of the curve?
Okay, so we've laid it all out. 5 key things to watch for. The delayed filings, the AI platform, the DeepSeek dilemma, their financial performance, and their overall business outlook. It's a lot to digest. Before we move on, I want to throw in a little bonus round. One of our sources suggested that SMCI might actually be misunderstood by Wall Street, possibly even undervalued.
I can see why they might say that. SMCI, they're involved in some seriously cutting-edge AI projects. They're actually supplying the hardware for Elon Musk's Colossus AI supercomputer.
That's right. And there's even talk that they might be part of the Stargate project. This is the one focused on building that huge AI infrastructure here in the U.S. If SMCI is in on that, well, that's huge. Of course, we can't forget those financial reporting issues.
No, we can't. Those are a real concern. So during the earnings call, we'll be listening for clues about their strategy, how they plan to address these challenges, what's their long-term vision. We need to see a clear plan.
Okay, so much to think about. We've talked about the key things to watch for, potential red flags, even the idea that SMCI might be a hidden gem. Now it's time to put all this knowledge to work. What stands out to you as the most important things to watch for in this report?
For me, it's got to be those delayed filings. Got to get some clarity there. It's the biggest concern right now. Like, if they miss that February 25th deadline, well, it kind of throws a wrench into everything else, you know?
Yeah, it's hard to get too excited about their AI platform or being involved with Colossus if they're, well, potentially facing delisting. So yeah, definite need for concrete answers there. But let's say they do resolve that. What I'm really interested in is this whole DeepSeek thing. Feels like a turning point for SMCI, almost.
Yeah. Absolutely. SMCI, they need to show investors they've got a plan, right? How are they going to deal with this potential shift in AI? If software optimization becomes the main thing, how do they adapt? How do they stay competitive? How do they stay relevant?
Yeah, do they team up with DeepSeek, invest heavily in their own software solutions, or do they just go all in on their hardware expertise? Bet that raw processing power is always going to be king. Big decisions. I'm curious to hear which path they choose.
Me too. And I think, honestly, their commentary on this, it'll be very telling, gives us a glimpse into their thinking. Do they really understand what's shaping the AI industry?
So we've got the filing deadline and the DeepSeek dilemma. What else are you keeping an eye on?
Well, I'm definitely listening for any solid info about their involvement with Stargate. That project, it could be a game changer for SMCI.
Yeah.
Imagine being a key hardware supplier for a nationwide AI infrastructure project backed by some of the biggest names in tech.
That'd be huge. But is there any evidence beyond speculation that they're even involved, or is this just investors getting a little ahead of themselves?
Good question. There have been some hints, some rumors, but nothing official yet. We'll be listening closely to see if they confirm or deny anything. Even just a hint that they're in the running for something this big, well, that'd be a positive sign.
Okay, let's play this out. They meet the filing deadline, they lay out a clear strategy for dealing with DeepSeek, and they even confirm they're part of Stargate. Lots of good news, right? But what could still go wrong? What are the red flags investors should watch out for?
Even with all that, yeah, there are still things that could trip them up. Financial performance, for one. They need to show their core business is solid. They're generating revenue. They've got a realistic plan for growth, because all the cool projects in the world won't matter if they're not making money, right?
So eyes on those key financial metrics, revenue, earnings per share, and what kind of guidance they give for future quarters. What else?
The competition. Can't forget about that. The server hardware market is brutal. Dell, HPE, Lenovo, these are big, tough competitors. SMCI needs to show they can hold their own, compete on price, performance, innovation. They can't just rely on a few big projects to carry them.
Right. It's easy to get caught up in the AI excitement and forget that SMCI is in a tough business, a business that's always changing. They got to prove they can stay ahead.
Exactly.
Right.
And lastly, even though that independent committee didn't find any major issues, we still got to pay attention to their accounting practices. Any concerns that linger, because trust is everything in finance, right? Even a hint of a lack of transparency, well, that could really hurt investor confidence.
For sure. They need to show they've learned from the past and that their financial reporting is solid, rock solid.
Exactly. So even with all the potential, investors got to be cautious, got to balance the optimism with a little healthy skepticism. Look for the good, yeah, but watch out for those red flags too, the ones that could signal trouble down the road.
Okay, let's put ourselves in the investor's shoes. We're on the earnings call. We've got our notes, our questions ready. What's the one question you would ask SMCI's management team? If you had the chance, that is.
Tough one. But I think I'd ask them how they plan to balance their focus on, that cutting edge AI hardware with this shift towards software optimization. It's about understanding how they see themselves fitting into the future of AI.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
You're asking them to face the DeepSeek dilemma head on.
Exactly, because their answer, it tells you a lot about their strategy, their vision. Are they going to be proactive, embrace this disruption, or are they going to be reactive and risk falling behind? Their response, it'll give us insight into their ability to adapt, to thrive in this crazy market.
I love it. Get straight to the heart of their strategy, their potential to create value for shareholders.
And it's a question every investor should be asking themselves as they dig into SMCI's earnings report, as they make their investment decision.
Okay, we've covered a lot. Those 5 key things investors need to watch: delayed filings, the potential of their AI platform, the DeepSeek challenge, overall financial performance, and the strategic outlook. We talked red flags and even came up with the perfect question for SMCI's management. Now it's time to put this knowledge to work.